Hello and welcome to the presentation of EDA. EDA is a modern document archiving and revision management solution designed by CSoft. In today's video, we will set up a new enterprise in EDA. Before you store files in EDA, you need to follow a few simple steps to set up the solution for your organization. For example, you need to feed in the email server details so that the EDA can send email notifications to your users, create the users and their custom roles or permissions, and finally, set up the departments and projects where you will store the files. Today, we will go through this setup process and spawn up a new enterprise. If you want to try EDA by yourself, please visit eda.csoft.com and request a trial by clicking the Sign Up button. This page requests your company details in order to create a trial account for you. Please fill up the necessary information and click Submit. Our support team will get back to you once your trial is ready, and you will receive the login credential in your registered email. Now, chances are that you already have the login credential, but when you log into EDA for the first time, you are greeted with the screen as shown here. Note, this screen shows the company details that you have provided. Before you start playing with EDA, you must provide your company name, your phone number, and email account. Let me quickly update the details here in the demo and move on. On the next section, we have to set up the email server so that EDA can send emails to its users. If you do not know about this information, please ask your email service provider about them. I will fill up the form with our SMTP details. Now, to verify the connection to your email server, here you will see an option to send a test mail to any email ID. I will fire a test mail to my account. And as you can see here, EDA can send email with the details that I have provided successfully. Now, all I need to do is to save the details by clicking the Save button below. The next action for this setup is to create roles. Now, roles are not mandatory because, as you can see, we have already defined a few roles like super user, manager, or commenter. So you can skip these for now. You can of course edit these roles or create your own roles so that it fits your requirement. We will look into how we can create a new role from this section. To add a new role, click on the Add Role button. Provide a name for the role. I will name it a supervisor role. You can of course select your own name for the role. Make sure the role is active so that it's visible in EDA. Next, we will write a brief description for the role. Select a grade for the role as well. We will discuss about the grades at a later video. Now, let's define the actual access permission that this role will enjoy. Note that all accesses are listed in the table below. You can select all permissions by selecting the Select All box. Also, to select all access for a particular section like department or project, you can simply click the Select Row box beside the section. Let's not give this role permission to delete and administer departments. And also let's remove the delete access for the projects as well. Let us give this role full access for documents, fields, views, filters, reports, and tasks. And select only view permission for the rest of the entities, like role and user. That's it. Click Save to create the role. As you can see, the supervisor role is now ready to be assigned. Next, we need to create some users for the enterprise. To do that, we will click Next and move on to the User tab. As we can see, I'm already present in the user list. My role is assigned as super user. Now, this is done automatically by EDA for the first user of an enterprise. We can change this role at a later time. To add a new user, click on the Add User button. Provide the name for the user. Under the role dropdown, you can see all the available roles present along with the role that we have just created. Let's select the new supervisor role for this user. Now the next entry is supervisor, not to be confused with the role name that we just created. This supervisor entry helps you define a hierarchical relation between users in EDA, like manager or reportee. As I am the only other user in this enterprise, let me choose myself as the manager or the supervisor for this John user. Next, we need to enter the email ID and contact details for this user, and also select the language that he would prefer to interact with EDA. Finally, we make this user active so that he can log in into the system. And for good measures, let's also make him a system admin user. Having a system admin privilege means that you can have access to set up or monitor EDA. You can of course add other details like address for the users and so on, but they are not mandatory, so let's skip them. Let's save the user. And we can see the new user is present in the system with his access defined. With every step, you can notice that the progress bar is getting updated so that you get an idea that where you are currently in the setup of EDA. Now that we have some users, we need to create some department and projects where we will store our files. To create the department, let's go to the next tab, Departments, and click on the Add Department button. Let's name it Mechanical Department, give it some description. Every department must have an administrator. Let's select myself for the administrator for this demo. Now let's add a project in this mechanical department. So let's go to the next and the last tab, that is Project, and click on the Add Project button. Again, adding project is very similar to adding departments. We need to provide a name for the project. Let's give it a name. We also need a small description. Let's write something in that box as well. And of course, we want this project to be inside the mechanical department that we just created. So under the departments dropdown, we will select the only available option, that is mechanical department. Let's click Save, and your project is now ready. Also, with this step, we are finished setting up EDA for our users. Go ahead and click Finish. It will take us to the dashboard view of the system administrator. As we can see here, we have one department in EDA and we have one user, that is myself, in this department. But we have added one more user during our setup process, so let's give that user access to our newly created department and project. There is a two-step process before anyone has access to any project or department in EDA. First, we must make the user available for the said department or the project. Then the department owner or the system admin will be able to add that user into the department and the project. So let's first go to the user section and edit this user. I see a silly typo error in the name, so let me quickly correct that. At the bottom of the screen, we can see there is a section called Available Departments. As we expand this, the left-hand list shows all the departments in the EDA. We select the department or departments we want this user to be available for, and move the list to the right-hand list. Now, when the department administrator will look into the available users for that department, this user will be available there. So we go to the department section, and if we select the manage user for the mechanical department, we will see new John Doe user is in the list of available users who can be added to this department. Again, the process is simple. Select the user and move him to the list on the right hand side. Save the changes to take effect. Now, if a user is included into the department, he or she is not automatically becomes a member of all projects in that department. The administrator of a department must explicitly give the user access to each and every project. So the next step is to add the new user into the project that we created. To do that, we follow the same steps. Navigate to the project we're concerned with, select Manage Users, and add the user to the selected users list. Click Save to save the changes. Now we can see the John Doe user is a member of the mechanical department and the project as well. So we have successfully completed the setup of EDA. Now we can move away from a system admin dashboard and start using EDA as a normal user. To do that, go to your profile menu at the top right corner and unselect the system admin setting. As a result, we see the dashboard view change. Here, we see a section as current details. Note that this is still blank. Now we must select a department and project as current to view the files stored there. This is going to be a final step. We will go into the current details menu and select the department and project that we created and click Save to take effect. We can see that our current information is updated. We will now be able to work with the files in that project, which we will cover in our next video. That's all for this demo. We will try to cover various features of EDA in our future videos. Thank you for being with us. Please share your feedback. For more information, visit our website csoft.com. Thank you.